Hi.
So hi, there we are. I'm not used to like we're recording 4 of this new thing. I'm still not used to like my mics taking so long to come out after the intro. Like I'm used to just talking right away, and I can't now. It's weird. It's holding me back. Hi.
I'm kind of glad that there is that little bit of delay because like if it came in whilst the music was still playing, you would every week you'd hear me going.
It's nice to just have a moment to mentally prepare for these.
I mean, Christ, we need it for this one.
What do you mean? We got a great film to talk about today. I'm excited for it, as is everyone else, right? Right?
I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's
okay,
put it that way. I like talking about these.
I'll talk about it. I'm not going to be as forgiving as I was.
You were, I would argue, almost too forgiving last week. But
there's only 3 kills in this movie. 3. And they all are not good. Because my son's right here.
I'm not sure.
I like the bike one. I gotta say, I do like the bike one.
It could have been better.
It could have been better, but we're not talking about whether it could have been better. Like in terms of the kills, the bike one is pretty good.
Probably the best one.
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
It's got that very kind of almost like Hellraiser aspect to it.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Okay, yeah, I'll give you. Here's the deal on this one though. I fell asleep a lot, so I'm gonna be a little spotty on this one. I didn't have time to rewatch it. I am not at my best A game for this podcast. I apologize. I'll do my best next week when the movie's even worse. But I didn't do any nicknames. Let's do some intros. So I'm your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt Zombie Dog, Felco 2 Dykes.
Ooh, what's the Felco 2, and how is it different from the Felco 1?
I don't know where the Felco 1 is, but Felco 2 is a pair of pruning shears.
Ooh, yeah, excellent for chopping off fingers.
Apparently, nice pair of pruning shears. Some of the best, according to this. Best pruning shears, according to this USA Today posting that I'm finding.
Sharp enough to cut through the bones of your victim's fingers.
We also have Joel Stonebreaker Gloves DeWitt.
Hold on. I've got some questions.
Are the gloves for breaking stones? Like you just punch the stones? Or
are we just acknowledging the fact finally that Joel is strong enough to crush stone?
I mean, they are available in sizes small, medium, and large. They look like nice gloves. That's all I got.
This is just turning into a gardening supplies infomercial now.
It kind of is.
I gotta get me one of these.
We also have Ryan, Ego Powered Plus LM 2135 SP Lutens.
Ego Powered.
Goddamn right.
That's a lawnmower. These are way better nicknames than we had for the Good Place.
I love how they make very little sense, but that somehow makes them better.
Somehow, yeah. I mean, I was about to give. I honestly wish I had given this one the Mammotion Luba 2, which is a robot lawnmower. But we'll have to save that for later. I don't garden. I live in an apartment, so I don't know what any of this shit does. But I'm all for it.
Charlotte's parents have a robot lawnmower.
Why are you lying? You showed me the lawnmower the other day, or when I was out there.
Those are the ones that look kind of like Roombas, right?
Yeah, it's basically a Roomba for your grass.
Right.
And instead of some little brushes, it's got blades.
I mean, I guess that's cool, but I also feel like it's dangerous.
Don't lay down in front of it and you'll be fine. And they're not fast as well. Like you can't be accidentally run over by one of these things. They move at
Sinister. What's the horror movie that does that? Is it Sleepaway? Is it Sleepaway Camp? Sleepaway Camp where they bury the person up to their head and they run a lawnmower over it?
That's Sinister.
No, it was definitely a 1980s movie. Even though they do it in Sinister. I want to say it's like Sleepaway Camp 3.
It might be.
I know that Brain Dead. I know that Brain Dead
the chest.
He actually he walks. He basically picks up a lawnmower and just walks towards them and minces.
Which is funny because Peter Jackson did a treatment for this film.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
I thought it was the next film and they completely ignored it.
No, it was wasn't it? It was 5 or was it 6?
I'm sure it was 6.
It was 6. You're right. My bad. I jumped the gun. I fell asleep
Yeah.
once. Never sleep again.
I guess we got to start talking about Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Dewey.
The Dream Child. The best way to start this,
Dewey.
though, is going to be the way we've been doing it lately, and maybe
Softcore
the sound will
porn?
work this week.
Oh.
We're not going to watch the softcore porn. We've all watched it. We've all seen it.
My first
Very
note
awkward opening. No, we're going to watch the trailer. Here, we're
My
bringing
first
the trailer
note
in.
is blue sex scene with some very overdramatic music for
Like-
such a slow sequence as well.
And
like,
chalk.
Like,
And chalk, yeah, like what the fuck?
it was about as good as the sex scene from the first Terminator.
No, that one, the sex scene for the first Terminator was better. You could at least wank to that.
I don't
Play the
need
trailer.
to, man.
Play the trailer.
We're watching the trailer.
Play the trailer.
Here we go.
Hey, I can
You
hear
want to
it.
hear it this week?
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, Joel can hear it.
There was a God-fearing woman.
No.
His birth was an unspeakable
Wait.
horror.
I can hear it.
And death have been
Wow.
one incredible nightmare.
Wow, I'm having like violent flashbacks to
But
watch
now
this
all
movie now.
that is going to change because Freddy wants to become a daddy.
Oh no.
You're just a little
When
pregnant.
she doesn't
Just a
He
little
wants to
pregnant.
possess
adopt.
the kid.
Do unborn babies dream?
What would count as a lot
When it
pregnant?
comes to chills.
I don't know.
I was gonna mention in chat last night. Some of these moments feel very pro-lifey
Yeah.
in the dialogue and perspective.
No
Yeah,
one
let's talk about the
delivers.
inconsistency of Freddy's look.
Freddy,
I
better buckle up.
Okay. So
All right, Kruger.
I think I slept through at least 70% of it.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I am not
5,
remembering the majority of this trailer.
Child. It's a
I remember that part.
When it comes to terror,
They tried to do long
Remember,
hands again, and guess what?
Freddy
It
knows
doesn't
best.
work.
Long hands is the least of this movie's problems.
Oh. Okay, there we go. Go away. That's the end of that. All right. Whew.
We have to talk
Okay,
about this movie.
so I mean, I know I just said it, but I'm legitimately surprised by how little of that movie I remembered.
it was not good.
No.
We talked about Hobbs and Shaw, Ryan. Yes, we have to talk about this movie.
Fine.
And Ryan, just to go back to this is better than 6?
It's gonna be very that's gonna be a spot on decision for me.
Okay. I can live with that. This to me is one of the worst movies we've covered on this channel. And we've watched some real shit movies. This is what happens when you do, a whole series. Series eventually kind of go down a little bit. We come to expect that. This is a special level of shit. And I say that thinking I might like it more than 4. 4, I mean, I get it. It's not its fault. It was during the writer's strike. But I also, excuses and explanations are two different things. I can explain why 4 sucked. That doesn't excuse 4 sucking. This one doesn't have any of that stuff to at least explain why it sucks. It just sucks. Yeah, I guess we should get into it. My notes here, I can even tell that I was getting bored almost instantly. My 4th line down, I'm starting taking notes on how I want to do the rankings for all 3 of these things later. I'm clearly not paying attention to the film anymore. Just going back through these is a bit of it's almost like it's kind of like a journey through my mind watching this. I have what the fuck is happening, I think 3 times on here. I have, is that the kid from Jurassic Park? Please check later. I didn't check later. Was that the
It
kid
is.
from Jurassic Park?
Sounds like a 6-foot turkey.
Yeah, okay, that kid. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I thought you meant the
Joseph
kid.
Mauser, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't him.
No, it was
No,
the kid
it's
from
the
Desert.
the kid. Yeah, the
the
one
shit
from
kid
the.
that Sam Neill makes fun of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's baby Freddy? Is that who he's supposed to be?
No, he's Jacob, Alice's son that Freddy is trying to possess.
That's right.
to enter the real world.
Whew, I'm not coming to this thing with a full
School's
day.
out, Kruger.
Oh man. Okay. No, that came back to me in a screaming fit. Okay, let's get started on this. So we start in, late 1990s Cinemax.
On a dark and stormy night. It was rather blue.
Yeah, it's a very blue. It's a lot of close-ups on a somewhat muscular back. I don't know if it's male or female.
That's actually the guy who played Super Freddy in Mark's Dream.
Cool.
Yeah.
Glad he got more work.
They asked me, they're like, "You want to do the sex scene?" And the guy's like, "Yes."
Okay, I'm gonna.
Did he get confused?
I can't imagine anyone ever saying yes to that. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever been on set. There's a lot of people on set. Always. Like, even like a closed set. Like, you've heard. I'm sure people have heard that phrase thrown around. Like, a lot of times when people are doing nudity, they close the set, which means basically if you don't need to be there, you can't be there. The people need to be there is still a lot. I can't think of something more awkward than pretending to have sex with someone in front of about 50 people who are all just like, "Can I go on my lunch break
This
now?"
wasn't
Like,
sex. This was just writhing around, though.
even worse. Like, it feels awful. The fact that people volunteer for this sort of stuff and want to do it as their career, I mean, hats off to you. Congratulations. It seems weird to me. But I'm going to critique every one of you for doing it. And
even this quote unquote sex scene, it didn't even look like a sex. It looked like one dude dry humping a bed because it just didn't. It didn't seem like there was two bodies in there. It just looked like close-ups of a butt moving every now and
Which
then.
is funny because they show nudity later when she's in the shower.
But they also I will go to this. I will credit them this much. It felt like she didn't really want to do too many nude scenes, and they do a good job shooting around it. Like yes, there is nudity, but it's not like, given the era this thing came out, with like the Jason movies and like a lot of like we are gonna showcase women. This one actually got around it in a pretty good way. I thought.
Even then, I think it was a double too. All the stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, like it didn't feel as explicit as the opening felt like it was going.
Yeah,
like it felt like this is taking a turn, and then it kind of didn't. So I appreciate that much anyway. Like it could have gone.
I think with all of these films, like I can't think of any of these films where we've really had that much actual nudity.
I mean,
Like the Freddy films seem to be, like Jason movies get a lot of nudity. Yeah. Halloween films again, kind of light on it. But like the sort of the slasher genre, like has always been one of those ones where people say, "Oh well, it's mixing sex with violence and it's desensitizing people and blah 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 blah." But it's like, is it really though?
That's all Jason's fault.
The Jason, the Jason films do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, the Freddy films don't really do that. The Halloween films didn't really do that either. It's like, yeah, there's a few bits of nudity in it, but I don't know. I never understood why there is that sort of reputation with this genre. It's not. It's dumb though. Like you paint an entire genre.
We named our podcast "Hockey Hooters and Hockey Masks." Like it was part of it. Like that's where I could be wrong, but I believe that's where the reputation comes from. But either way, so this movie, not good. But we're gonna try to get through it a little bit more positive than we did last week, because this one's so bad that it would just be kind of not fun to just sit here and bitch about it constantly. This one has elements that I think knock on the doors of so bad it's good, which I don't think 4 had. 4 had so bad it's boring. This one's also very boring. Like I said, I fell asleep through a good chunk of it, but it has moments where I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, to where you almost start laughing at it, and that makes it a little bit easier to kind of claw your way through it. Obviously not perfect, as I keep saying I fell asleep, but it does make it a little bit more fun. And there are things in this that I do want to say so far has been the best of the franchise. And that I'm going to start with that right out of the gate, which is the use of the jingle. I think
what's the best use? What?
The use of the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, when she's going through the park and it's happening in the park and she doesn't realize it right away.
Yeah.
That was cool. That might be the best part of the whole movie, and it might be all downhill from here, but I did like that one transition of she's walking and then you can see the girls in white behind her and you start hearing it and it's like, oh shit, this is happening. I wish the rest of the movie was that good. It's not, but that part was cool.
I think this film again has some. There are a few times where there's like some decent setups, and then like they don't really pay it off very well. Like I'll be honest, like the Escher stairs towards the end, That is a really cool. That is a really cool concept to bring in.
Yep.
I wish they'd have done more with it though,
And
because it is just. It's so perfect for a dream world as well. That idea of like Escher stairs and like do more with that. Like
exactly. Hopkins said,
screw off with those schools out, Kruger, and all that vomiting crap.
It makes for a great chase sequence, and I think that Hopkins said he loved these. The I don't know how to pronounce the stairs, but he says he loves these stairs. And this is a guy who's very much into comic books, and he brings that in with, especially with Mark. But those stairs could have led to such a great chase, and the imagery, especially with the stroller coming up the stairs. But then it's just, we're gonna meet right in the center, and let's fight. Let's have possessions.
And it goes again to what we were saying last time. It's like these ideas that like, you've got really cool concepts, and like, that would work so well because like, we're in dreams, so let's play with the reality thing, and then you just drop the ball.
This movie had a script, and there was a few revisions, but the writer's strike was over. But this is where New Line got greedy, and they were trying to ride the Freddy wave as much as humanly possible because 4 came out and 5 was already filming. And they already had a date set, so like they were under the gun. And that's why I said Robert Englund, like he looks like he is just bored to death with this movie.
Oh, yeah. But we didn't talk about it last week, but 4 was a hit.
Like, 4 made lots of money.
4 did really well. It was the highest grossing one. Like it was.
I'm going to say 4's the most successful one of the whole series, I think.
Freddy vs. Jason, yeah. Then Freddy vs.
And that kind of speaks to, I wonder if that's more to do with like how good 3 was. Like people come out of 3 and like, I really want to see what's coming next. And then like you go to 4, becomes the highest grossing one of the lot because like, people who didn't go and see 3 have caught it on video and said, oh my God, this is so cool. So they've gone to see 4. But then you go to 4 and you're just a bit like, this isn't the same caliber of 3.
Yeah, we are definitely at that point in the franchise where it's like, okay, we have our formula. We need to start hitting our formula. We're gonna have this conversation by a pool where all the kids are gonna list out their fears. Like this is how they're all gonna die later. Like we just start ticking the boxes. But the thing that I have to bring up now, and we can try to move through it. You guys have watched the documentary series. I have not, so I'm hoping you can shed some light on this. What the fuck were they thinking with the baby? Like who thought the dream child, just that aspect,
Sarah
was
Reiser.
a good plan?
Sarah Reiser.
Okay.
She was She was a mother. She was a new mother, and she, was going through that. And so there was an original treatment for Freddy 2 where it was a baby, and so they revisited it and brought the script back and did it like that.
Because I did notice like the possession stuff kind of came back a little bit in this from 2. So like I could see there's some similarities there, but like I can't. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of some like studio executive in the 1980s.
Sarah Reiser. She's in part 7.
Sure, but putting myself in her shoes. Whose shoes? Whoever has to sign a check, who goes, we have this horror franchise. Let's bring a baby into it, and like, no, this will be scary. Freddy wants to be a daddy. Like somebody signed off in that trailer we just watched, where Freddy wants to be a daddy. Like, it's one of those things where like hindsight being 2020. Looking back on it, going like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Like
someone who saw Child's Play.
They needed an idea.
Like, it's like,
I know, but like it's that idea of the possession thing. Like it goes into the Chucky doll, and then like the Chucky doll wants to possess the kid.
They needed to ride the wave. They didn't have a script because there was no writers. They were coming right off the strike. They had the idea from Freddy 2, so they went with it because Sarah remembered. Oh, there was a treatment of Freddy being a child, and they were writing the script as they were doing it too for this one because it was a different treatment.
And there's no excuse for that, to be honest, because like you can excuse it a little bit with the 4th one of like like you had a script to a certain point, the writer strike comes in, so you then just kind of have to work on it on the fly with not actual writers. But when you're in a situation like that where you've got a successful film, there is no reason in the world where you start shooting the sequel without a complete script.
Yep.
I'm sorry, there's no excuse. The only reason you do that is you are very like greedy for one thing, but you're also very short-sighted because no film that has been written whilst it's being shot is ever going to turn out good.
And I think this movie has trouble with its directors, especially 4 and 5, because 4, Rennie Harlin, this is his first U.S. big budget movie, and he very much was an asshole. Like he if you watch Never Sleep Again, like he comes off like a total dick. Stephen Hopkins was a visionary. Like he was great at storyboards. He loved comic books. He just couldn't execute. He just could not execute to save his life. And from what I remember from Never Sleep Again, like they had sets everywhere and they were all close together because he had that creative control. But like people are working on this set while they're trying to film here, and it throws people off. And I think that's why the acting is, well, I'm not even going to try to defend the acting. Fuck that.
Yeah, don't.
The problem is as well, like when you're running to like that shorter schedule as well, of course you've got 5 different sets and you're shooting all of them all at the same time because you've got to shoot so much in like such a short space of time. It's just really kind of poor planning and short-sightedness because like we said, like I said it a few times on the last one, they needed like two weeks extra shooting. Yep. This film needed like an entire month's extra shooting.
No,
like
this movie needed a trash can. It just needed a trash
Well, yeah, like it needed a completely different script. That like throw the original script that they were going to do into the trash can, totally rewrite it, get rid of the baby, and don't just rush the production like that. Like what?
But
why?
When you set the date. Like, you have to run. They were given no choice. Bob Shea says, we are releasing this day. And it was...
Well, they had a choice. Don't set a date before you have a completed script.
But that's Bob. He was trying to ride the wave. And even Bob said, like, 5 is awful. And like, Bob realized his mistake in the documentary.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Even the director was like, this is pretty lame.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the thing is, I can look at 4 and be like, this is just absolute trash, and I hate it. 5, I look at, I'm like, this is a train wreck, and I want to dig in. Like, how did this happen? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I look at the plot line, if you will, of Freddy's mom, I guess, the nun versus Freddy. Like, that, there's something there. Is it good? I don't know, but there's like, okay, there's the person who's trying to hold Freddy back. Freddy's a little afraid of her. Like, you get that sort of stuff. I'm okay with that.
But this movie is completely negated because if the whole point is to free her from the tower, that was done in part 3 because the doctor had a conversation with her in that tower. She would have been released.
We had a conversation with her in the graveyard, like walking around. Like, she's not, again, it's another one of the issues with these. Spirit. Yeah. Like another issue, like I'm sort of noticing with a lot of these films is nobody's really keeping track of the continuity.
No, not even
like across these films. Like, I mean, the Jason films are not fantastic continuity wise, but they at least did a better job than these ones.
Well, they didn't give themselves nearly the amount of rules that Freddy did. Like Jason is really like, he's over there. Don't go in the camp. Don't go in the camp. You'll be okay.
Why are you going in the camp?
Yeah, why are you stop going to that camp. Like, why'd you drive your potato boat on the way to New York through the camp? Like, don't go to the camp. So it makes it a little bit easier. So like, I as much as I want to agree with you because I like Jason movies more, like they made it easier on themselves. This one they made it way too hard on themselves. But like, I'm just going through like my notes. I really never have anything nice to say about it. Like, I like the truck death sequence. Like that was cool, I guess.
What I like is the bike when it starts to take over, like literally starts to dig into Dan while he's on the bike. It's real kind of like Hellraiser style. This thing's taking over and it's like, it's eating into you and it's ripping into your skin and your flesh and all that sort of stuff. And I kind of like the weird like robot Freddy face thing that's on the bike as it's speaking, but it doesn't really, like, apart from that, there's nothing else really that memorable from the film. Like, and they do, like, they try to sort of play with your perception of the stuff, like, the guy who gets out of the truck and is like screaming at Alice, like, the guy came out of nowhere, is dressed like Freddy, and it's just kind of like, oh, that's Freddy. Oh no, wait, it isn't. It's just a guy with Freddy's hat for some reason.
Totally forgot that. But like, what was there? There was one that I was.
There's something that
the feeding to death. That was gross. Like,
Yeah.
Both
it was
both
dumb.
of those deaths were cut by the MPAA,
which you could kind of tell. Like
because
this one,
in the Dan death scene, they actually came up with something where it was like if you inject like the silicone, it melts away. And that would have been really cool. And seeing the side-by-side comparison, I would appreciate it more. But yes, Dan's death is cooler. Greta, like, they actually had her stomach opened up, and like he was feeding her herself. Like, he would dig into her guts and then feed her her entrails.
And like when I had my complaints in 4 that I felt like they're watering it down for the potential children that are sneaking into it, they listened to that. And in part 5, they stopped doing that, which is, I appreciate it. But it also didn't really work out as well. Yes, clearly the MPA they took some issue. They didn't go as nearly hard against them as they did against Jason. I will get over that at some point in my life, maybe. Probably not. But this one, like, I feel like I get more annoyed with it because it shows more potential in, like,
there's 3 deaths. There's 3 deaths, and they're all cool in concepts.
It's the death. It's the motorcycle. It's the feeding. What's the third one?
The comic book.
The comic book.
Yeah.
All cool concepts.
Yeah.
Terrible executions.
I was excited for the comic book one because I remember seeing like clips of that one. I'm like, all right, I mean, excited is a strong word, but like I was like, okay, at least this one has something that I'm looking forward to in it. And then when you finally get there, it's like, that was okay.
And Freddy's makeup in this is atrocious.
Most of the makeup is atrocious in this. Like there's not a lot of good in this.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I like the. I wish we could have had more of the like the flashbacks to the insane asylum where like Freddy was created.
Yeah,
like, that stuff was like, okay, this is something I can kind of like dig my teeth into. Like, it's a little grimy, it's gross, it's weird.
We get Robert Englund out of makeup.
Yeah, like that, okay, like, I'm somewhat into this. I'm not super into it, but I'm like, okay, like, it's gross and it's sad. Like, I don't like that parts of it, but
I have to say,
filmmaking going on here.
Yeah, I like there was a really cool kind of gothic aesthetic about all that.
Absolutely.
And that was something that was quite nice. So like you're looking at that and you got this really like gothic kind of old, it felt very reminiscent of the like, the old Dracula type films, like that very kind of gothic aesthetic, the buildings, the tall buildings and stuff like that. And then in the interior as well, the interior design on it. But it just, at the end of the day, it's a really cool aesthetic to look at, but that's not going to carry you through a film.
No. And
it's not throughout the entire film as well. It's a few bits and pieces here and there, and it's really difficult to find good things. So, like, even the comic book stuff. Like, I think I'm looking at that thinking this could be really cool, but it's just, I mean, there's bits of it. It just looks like someone watched the Aha music video for "Take on Me." Like, it genuinely,
so,
like. Yeah. And it just like that was the first thing I thought when we first see Mark. I think it was like him animated walking. I'm just looking at it, going, "Oh, so someone's just watched Take on Me's music video." And like the idea that this guy who's into making comic books would, in his dream world, like we're back into the kind of like the idea of dream powers a little bit. He would be a superhero, and like they kind of try to do something with it, but I don't think they lean into it enough. Like, why is Freddy riding a skateboard at one point?
Yeah,
like
because Mark.
And why is it when he shoots Freddy with the guns, it's like he's getting shot? He's shooting a giant feathery pillowcase as well. Like the whole point of Mark's thing, like
why when he puts on his glove in the beginning of the movie does it cock like a gun?
Well, yeah. but like the whole thing with Mark is, I'm just gonna like move past that. The thing with Mark is like he doesn't like real blood and violence, but like he the comics that he draws are really bloody and gory and stuff like that, because they make a point of that. So why was like when he shoots Freddy, why isn't it like gases of blood bursting out, like that really kind of like gory graphic comic book style of violence, instead of we just get a few feathers bursting out of him? It just, I don't know, like they could have done so much more with that.
I mean, I know this movie didn't have the budget for it, but it would have been cool to make that sequence animated. Like that would have been kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do the
that it would like instead of like a little bit of animation, like where we have an animated mark. Like, do you know the idea? Like the animated mark, he cuts him a few times and the color drains out of him and then it goes to the puddle. Kind of cool. Like I like that. It's a really cool concept. They could have done more with that though.
You're doing comics. Do superhero stuff. Do something fun. Like give him the chance to win.
Agree.
Another question of why. I'm just going to throw a photo up for everybody who's can't watch this because we're not doing the video yet. But for the people on the episode, just why?
Oh,
because they could.
Just because you could. What's the line? You
doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
you should. You thought that you figured that you could, but you never thought whether you should.
Yeah.
For those of you playing the home game, we are looking at a picture of baby Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to have that in their home right now.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody took that from set.
Get rid of that. Just a lot of why. Lots.
It doesn't even really look like Freddy that much either.
But even then,
also, like he wasn't born burnt.
Exactly.
As well. Like, what the hell?
Like, he was
and then you give him long arms again. Like when he's up there and he's like, "Look at me," and I've got a long arm, and he's like, "Ha ha." We get it. You have a long arm, and then he loses his arm, and so it's just tied off to the side when he's talking to Jacob. Like, quit with the arm. Stop it. It didn't work in one. Leave it alone.
It's not a good idea, guys.
Do you reckon that was just like, oh, we found the long arms from one here. Like, let's try and work with these again to save a bit of money. Like, no, leave them alone. Just let Robert Englund use his actual fucking arm.
Okay.
This movie is very simple and it is poorly executed. This could very well be a very short episode.
Yeah,
because there's only 3 kills. Usually we spend a long time talking about kills, but we've talked about all 3 of them.
So I want to talk a little bit about the pregnancy, like just that idea of it, because this movie does have this. Joel called it out earlier, and it bothered me the whole time I was watching it. This very odd, like almost pro-life bend to it.
Yeah,
where like we don't see how Alice gets pregnant. They
yes,
make
softcore porn.
No, I yes.
The blue scene at the beginning. That's
and then Yvonne going, Dan keeping you up at night because Dan's sneaking in every morning and getting some honey.
I get it. The idea that somehow that baby turns into Freddy's baby is where I'm like,
it's not Freddy's baby. He's trying to take over the baby.
I get that, but that kind of makes it Freddy's baby, does it not? Like even the baby when she's talking to him has like the burned face like Freddy at some point. Like it's there and it's weird. I don't understand the children of mass killer things. It didn't work here and it didn't work in Seed of Chucky. Like it's just not a good plan. And it just makes me uncomfortable the whole movie. So like when the sequence where he pops out and like touches like, hey, want to make a baby? Like ew. And I haven't had that level of ew at any of like the horror franchises we've talked about so far. And like some of them gotten close, they've talked about it, but it hasn't gotten to this level of like, I can't imagine like, and granted, I know that they knock on that door a couple times, but like the idea of like the child of Michael or the child of Jason, it's like this just. They don't have children. It doesn't work.
That was they tried that.
The next one.
They tried that in Halloween 6 with Michael, like basically impregnating his niece or something. And just like, and then that it was like, ugh, no, don't do that. Like, ugh.
And it's not like ugh, I'm so grossed out. I need to watch more. It's like, no, could you just not do that plot line? It's like so I went to go see Terrifier 3. For those of you who haven't seen it. If you want to see it, see it. If you don't. Don't trust your instincts on Terrifier. But Terrifier 3 opens with the very first kill of the movie is a kid. Like that's just right out of the gate. Bang, kid. And it's like they don't show it, but you hear it. And hearing it is very, very gross. And like as I'm watching this sequence, I'm like, what does this add to the movie? Like I get it that Art the Clown is going to mess up everyone way worse than I've ever possibly seen in a movie. But do I need to listen to him kill a 10-year-old to start? Like, is this making the movie scarier, or am I just kind of turned off for the rest of the movie? This pregnancy shit does the same thing to me. Like the idea of like, I need to keep my baby, even though Freddy's trying to take him. It's like, no. Like none of this isn't working for me as a narrative.
And like Dan's parents, like the scene with them is just so fucking weird. Like it's just so crazy. It's like, oh, we know that you're struggling. Like we want to adopt the baby. It's like, well, no, it's my baby. Well, we think that we're right. What the fuck is this? Where is this coming from? They have no right to do that at all, ever. Like, fuck off. Like,
I kept expecting that to be one of the nightmares. Like that, like the parents were going to turn into Freddy. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, again, they'd have done something with it, but they don't. Yeah. They just have these two assholes as Dan's parents. Like, it just, oh my God.
They don't. But again, this dad, Alice's dad, I love his character arc because he goes from alcoholic to a man attending meetings and knowing the shame that he's brought his daughter and then standing up for her. At the very end of that conversation, like, he is the highlight of that movie.
That is a good
How
point.
Sad is that this is the highlight of the movie,
right?
Yeah, this is the highlight of the slasher film we're watching. This fucking Hallmark drama bullshit. Like,
it's the dad. Great arc.
All right,
and him at the end playing with the kid again. Yeah, like it's really kind of nice. But I don't watch these films for nice.
When he says it'd be nice to hear a little boy, like he misses his son.
Yeah.
Again. Best part of the whole movie. Just from 4 to 5, his arc, perfect.
Whoa. Easy on the perfect, but...
I'm saying his arc is okay. The actor did it well.
I'll take okay.
I was going to say, you didn't say okay, right? You said perfect.
They're hard.
So I don't have a ton else to talk about with this thing. I'd love to. I love talking for a full hour every podcast, but...
This movie is very simple. There's not much to it. There are moments where it's nice to look at because the director is very much a storyboard artist and is in the production side, but that's it.
And I gotta be honest, I don't think the director's that good. Like,
he's not.
No.
What did Stephen Hopkins?
To be honest, he would be a really good cinematographer. I think he's got good kind of visual sense
and colors,
and color like palette, but putting together an actual film, like he did Predator 2, which I kind of like. I kind of like Predator 2, but I like it in the kind of that corny way. Like, it's a quite cool action film, or it's shot kind of cool, but I don't like it in the same way that I like Predator, in which case it's like, it's oh my God, this is a really well-made film that's like, it's keeping me on the edge of my seat. It's more just kind of like, there's some visual cool elements in this, but that's it. I mean, he directed the first 2 episodes, I think, of 24, and the last 2 episodes of season 1 of 24.
Right,
and they were pretty good.
And
they were good. They're good episodes. They're well directed, but again, they're not cinematic. Like, the 24 is not a cinematic series. It's very much like a documentary. And I think,
hold up, he did the Matt LeBlanc Lost in Space. This guy's
great.
I was
going to say that. He's good for action. He did Blown Away with Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones. He did
Ghost in the Darkness.
Night.
That wasn't bad.
He did what?
Ghost in the Darkness.
Yes, I was going to say that. And then Under Suspicion. Under Suspicion is a great suspense movie. Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Monica Buscelli.
Yeah, his more recent stuff hasn't been good.
No. He won an Emmy, though. We'll give him that.
Yeah,
I guess what it comes down to, like, this is his first film again, and it's not only. I appreciate that New Line are giving these sort of first-time directors a chance, but at the same time, it would be nice if they got someone in who knew what they were doing for some of these films.
He did one film before this called Dangerous Game.
Is it an actual film or is it a short, though?
That with David Lewis. No, it's an actual film, hour 38.
Okay.
Got 2 nominations. It does not look very good. It was probably one of those very, very low budgets. Probably how he got this job.
Yeah.
But either way, he clearly has a good eye. If he's not a good director, so be it. But he got better, clearly, throughout his career. But
can we talk about the acting?
Visual... No.
It
was so bad.
It's bad.
I'm still floored at how bad it was. I didn't think Alice was good in the last one. I certainly thought she was
worse
better
than this one.
I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. She might just be consistently terrible, and you just get used to it, or I guess got used to it, and that's why I thought she was okay in this one, or she got worse, and I just don't care anymore. Like, this movie actively pushes me away from it. It's like I've never felt a movie just like, you don't need me. No, just go do
Her shouting at random things, like, it's too much. It's way too much. And Robert Englund definitely phoned it in. You can tell.
Oh my God,
the girl who plays Yvonne is just so cardboard cutout. Greta is not good. Mark is not good.
Greta has one good moment in the film, I think, and it's at the graduation where she sees her mom and she's like, and she does this sort of like, oh, I'm gonna go grip my teeth with it, and I kind of like that. It was that sort of like, oh, this sort of teenager, like her mom's pushing this way, and she's like, oh, I really really don't like this, blah. I kind of like that, and that's the annoying thing. This film gave me hope. It gave me hope with that character, that one bit, and it's just
Joel's face says it all.
It's like, God damn it, film, stop giving me hope.
I honestly don't know where I'll land on this thing at the end of, like, where will this thing rank with the rest of mine. This one is very, very, very low. Yeah, I don't like it, and I don't really want to keep talking about it. I've been talking about it for 40 minutes.
That's why I changed the subject to acting. It's not because I walked in. I was like, let's just talk about acting and get out of here.
I want to throw this shit in my rearview mirror. Is there anything else that we need to talk about this thing before we move on to quotes and or one of the 3 kills? That's a solid no. Okay.
Yeah, no, like, I to be fair, acting-wise, I gotta say, I think the woman who played Amanda Kruger was pretty good.
By comparison, though,
by comparison, yeah. I've seen her in other stuff. I had to look her up because I recognize her. I've seen her in other stuff, and she's actually quite a good actress.
Okay.
So I do wonder if a lot of this quote unquote bad acting, because it is just bad across the board, is just from a director who doesn't really know how to get a performance out of actors as well. Like we said, he's got a good eye, he's got a good visual sense, but that doesn't equate to being able to get, like, you know, what you want out of your actors and what the characters are wanting to do. Like, I think we've discussed this before. Like, a good actor can turn in a bad performance with a bad director.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I will always go back to Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg with a bad director is one of the worst actors you'll see. With a good director, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
All depends on his director. There's not a lot of good directing in horror films, so we don't get a lot of that. I do what we can.
I think there is. I think, to be honest, I think there is. I think there are some directors who do these horror films that they have, like, an idea of what we go through the Jason series again, like Joe Zito, I think, was the guy who did 4. Fantastic director, like,
Joe Zito.
Yeah, puts together, like, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who did 6, he knew what he wanted out of that film, and he got what he wanted out of the film.
The guy has good directing. I mean, 7's ridiculous film, but, like, the direction's not the problem. Man.
Yeah. And I think the problem is,
me like Jason Moore.
Yeah, and the problem is, like, they just get in these sort of, like, relatively young directors in, and it feels like they're trying to do, like, oh well, these are young people, they're gonna know what's hip and what's cool and what kids like, and it does kind of feel like they're going after like trying to get kids.
Oh yeah,
like the young audience on this, and they're going for, like, oh well, this is a young guy. Oh, he's hip. He must know what's on the pulse of the young generation, or get people in to see this film. And it's just like, yeah, but wouldn't it be better to get someone a little bit older who's got more experience under the belt to, you know, create a good film, not just someone who's just young and hip?
I mean, that's also the problem of being, 5 into a franchise that's, kind of dying at this point. Of, you need to find that undiscovered talent, so you have to take risks on people, and, like, that's where you can see a lot of these directors that we're seeing do okay movies here and go on to do great movies later. Like, the people hiring them did their job. They found the undiscovered talent who needs to, like, learn how to do the craft. Unfortunately, they get the shit out with the movies that we're currently reviewing.
Yeah.
this is what made them better. So great for later viewers, not us.
Let's
do quotes and kills. Let's do quotes and kills.
We're beating a dead horse.
Yeah, we got it. We got that it's bad. And
okay. I just wanted to try and get a bit more runtime out of this.
No, we're good.
It is the shortest.
Yeah, we're good. Let's do quotes and kills. I went first last week. We'll let Matt go first this week.
I got mine.
What's wrong with me? Nothing. You're just a little pregnant. Low bar. I just.
It's memorable.
I got nothing. To be honest, I've got very little on this. Like, I didn't even write down a kill.
You even almost delivered it better than Yvonne.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to deliver it badly as well, so
Nailed it.
And my kill's probably the motorbike. Like, I didn't actually write one down because, to be honest, I think I got to the end of this film and was just like, whatever, just close the laptop. I'm gonna watch something good now. But yeah, I think the motorbike, like, Dan, I don't think it's really particularly a good kill. Like, it's the same as what we had in the first one. He forces him to drive into something. This time it's a truck that's coming at him. But I just like the sort of the visual element of the bike sort of like taking over him. How he gets onto the bike is stupid. Like, why would, like, you've crashed your truck and then you're in a fucking dream world because Freddy's there and you see a motorbike like, oh, I know, I'm going to get on this motorbike that just happens to be here. No, you're an idiot. You deserve to be eaten by the motorbike.
Yeah, that's fair. Ryan, what about you? Quotes in one of the three kills.
How was the meeting? Sobering. Very funny.
Oof.
The dad was the best part of this whole movie, I'm telling you.
I get it. Low bar.
Oh, man, kills. I mean, they could have done so much more with Mark, but I feel I can't pick one because the MPAA really screwed them on this. I mean, Greta's makeup did not look good. I think the makeup on Mark was better, but the execution was bad because it was so cut by the MPAA. It's just, I mean,
they didn't cut that much. They didn't cut that much. To be
fair,
they
didn't. But
we're not talking like a Friday the 13th 7.
To see Freddy dig into Greta, that would have been good.
It would have been okay. I don't think it would have increased like the quality that much.
You're probably right.
That more like we're not talking like this thing.
My kill is Dan. Done.
Yeah, it's not a Friday the 13th Part 7 where like you get like the head being really squished and all that sort of stuff that was cut out. It feels like they cut the bike cutting his Achilles tendon or something, and then they cut out a few little bits.
We're good. Dan, move on.
Yeah.
Joel, you've been super quiet this week. What did you like about this movie?
It's a boy.
There's a line actually, folks.
I actually like that as that line read better than in the film.
Yeah.
Just joking. It's a boy.
Fuck this movie. The kills. They needed to cut the length of them in half and double them.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's a stupid amount of time spent elongating these things where the chase, like going back to the interesting concept part of it versus execution, interesting setup. We then linger on this never-ending chase that never feels satisfying as a conclusion. I guess I'll choose Mark because I thought it was creative. The idea was creative. I looked up when they were actually slicing the bits, and I thought, oh, that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Violent, gory, no, but I thought it was clever.
All right, so for my quote, hold on, where'd it go? I had it. It was something stupid.
Of course it was. Of course it was, Brian, because it's from A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. The Dream Child.
That is very, very fair. Oh, it was so it's when Alice is trying to get Mark to watch her sleep and it was just stay awake and watch me. And he goes, yeah, okay. And he was just very excited to watch her sleep, which I thought was made me chuckle for a moment, which was nice in a movie that was just kind of depressing me. Especially with I watched this the week of the election. I didn't need this shit.
Yeah, I wasted my Friday night on this.
Come on. Anyhow, so
I mean, after I finished this, I went and watched the Jack Ryan series. So that was nice.
I mean, I went to go watch. I'm wearing my hoodie for it right now. I went to go watch LAFC win the playoffs game the night after. So that was much better than this shit. But for kill, just because no one else said it, I'm gonna go with the feeding kill because like it did make me a little uncomfortable. Like when it was done, my note was like that was kind of gross. And I liked that kind of signaled to me that they were not playing with as soft of kid gloves as the last one. So I liked that, but it still was bad. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Ryan. It's bad. I'm not saying it. The movie sucks. Don't get me wrong.
How bad is your acting? I'll show you.
Like when we finished Halloween, I'm like, I will go back and watch pretty much every one of these at some point, -6. When we finish Friday the 13th, I will go back and watch any one of them whenever I feel like it. When I finish this one, I will be rewatching maybe 2 or 3 of them. Like the lows on this thing are very low. And
currently, my rewatch on this is going to be 1 and 3.
Yep. Oh, I will after watching the documentary on 2, I want to watch 2 again. Because like now, like even if 2 is not a very good movie, I like the elements of 2 that they were trying to do. Like there's at least something I can think about while watching 2. This one hurts my brain.
My top 5 we've all seen so far, but I've talked about 7. I mean, it's in no particular order. 4, 3, 2, 1, 7.
The fact that 4 was mentioned hurts.
I'm sorry.
The fact that you can have a top 5 of these things.
Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason is better than 4. I'm gonna die on that hill, and most people will join me.
I'll be dead there with you. Which goes to show you like the difference in quality from this series versus Friday the 13th, because Freddy vs. Jason was in my bottom quarter, I think.
Yeah.
It was very low in my list.
It's going to be a lot higher here. But, we have some good stuff to look forward to. 7 is good. And then I actually think the remake is better than the shit we've been watching now. But we're going to keep digging. We're not done yet. We can go lower. And we're going lower next week.
With Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold. And a mystery cameo that I'm not going to say.
I know who it is because I looked at IMDb. How they got him for this movie.
And they didn't get him for 7. That's the best part because Wes Craven was
insanity.
Too much of
absolute insanity. But either way, so we got part 6.
Matt's looking it up right now. Cut the episode.
I'm not looking that up.
I'll keep that one a surprise.
Final Freddy. What's this one called? Final Nightmare.
Final Nightmare. And that next one is directed by Rachel Talley, who has produced every movie so far.
I just to be honest, the Nightmare on Elm Street
actually has some
films
pretty good credits to her name.
Who, Rachel Talley?
Yeah. Not a lot, but she has some.
It kind of feels like the Nightmare on Elm Street films are very much like a game of limbo. Like, how low can you go? Keep going lower.
Yeah. And luckily, we bottom out next week. So everything after next week will be a little bit better, I think. I haven't rewatched the remake in a very, very long time. I remember thinking it was pretty shit. But I didn't know how bad these movies got. I might like it a little bit more now. We'll see. But yeah, Rachel Talley, she was the first American to ever direct an episode of Doctor Who. So, that's cool for her. I don't totally dislike her. She did a lot of like the CW DC stuff, which I was a big fan of all that. So like she's but that's not exactly high quality. I had fun with it. I'm not saying it was great. So next week, man, I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to talk about it. I am not excited to watch it, but I will, and I will absolutely watch it, and then I will watch 7, which is good. So yeah. 2 weeks, we got a great one coming up. Next week, we will have a very good episode as we talk about some
Freddy's dead.
Real trash. Yeah. Yet again, I don't really feel like doing plugs. Anybody feel like doing plugs?
No.
No.
Nah, just stick a butt plug up you.
I can't wait to watch Breckenmeyer get stoned.
Is that in the next one?
Yep.
I didn't know Breckenmeyer was in it. Okay.
Isn't that just like any film that Breckenmeyer's in though? He always gets stoned.
He doesn't get high in Rat Race.
Really?
Oh no, he plays a very straight-laced guy in Rat Race, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does go through a helicopter crash. Rat Race is a good movie.
Yeah.
I guess he was just high while making Rat Race.
Could be.
That would make more sense. He's from my Starbucks over there. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. 1, 2, 3.
One, two,
Wake up!